There are some rumors that William Ruto is planning to court George Natembeya and Kalonzo to join his team. And there's some stories that is happening that William Ruto is promising Kalonzo to be his running mate in 2027, and it's also planning to do the same to George Natembeya. Recently, we just saw the CS Murkomen go and have go to Trans Nzoia. Now he had a meeting with the governor George Natembeya, who is the governor of Trans Nzoia. So there are some rumors that there is some 1.4 billion that Natembeya is being offered to join William Ruto and to be his presidential running mate in 2027. At the same time, Kalonzo is also being courted for that same position. So you want to analyze, why is the president doing this? And has the president sensed defeat? And are these candidates any of importance to William Ruto come 2027? Why is he courting them right now? So before I go into the details, kindly take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you will always be the first to watch. So kindly do so, na kama kawaida, I'll be back. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed, and for the return subscribers, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So as I was saying, that the president is hell-bent and trying so hard to see if he can if he can bring George Natembeya to his team, and also Kalonzo Musyoka, and he's promising them nothing else than the running mate position for 2027. That is the deputy president, if in case he wins the presidency come 2027. And if that fails, then he will have no choice than to either to go for Gladys Wanga. But there are some critical things that we need to look at. Why is the president so keen in taking these two people to his side? This is what I'm thinking in all this scenario. Number one, the president has sensed that Kindiki is no longer useful to him. That is the truth. Kindiki is not useful to President Ruto's 2027 plan, because Kindiki has failed to replace Gachagua in Mount Kenya. He has failed to control Gachagua in Mount Kenya. So Kindiki is very insignificant in that region, and that is why he's irrelevant to William Ruto come 2027. You people, you must understand one thing, that in politics they are never permanent friends. They are just permanent interest. So once someone understands that you have no of any interest, of any importance to his interest, or you cannot help him achieve his interest, then he will do away with you as soon as possible. So the president has no plan of having Kindiki as a running mate in 2027. So where can he look at? He's looking at those people who are strong. Natembeya has managed to grasp not Mount Kenya, Mulembe Nation, and it's now it is now being seen like Natembeya is now the new kingpin of Mulembe Nation. That is the Luya. He's now seen like he's the new kingpin of the Luya. But is it true that Natembeya is the kingpin of the Luya fully? I still doubt. Natembeya has an influence, but he is not that strong in Mulembe Nation, such that once he says something, everyone will follow. But remember very well that William Ruto just need a portion of Mount Kenya and of Mulembe Nation, and he knows if he has Natembeya on his side, first and foremost he will have the entire Trans Nzoia, including the Kalenjin who are there. He knows that he will have that voting block completely for him, and then he will have the small influence that Natembeya will have on other parts of the Mulembe Nation. So Ruto is so keen in having George Natembeya on his side. That's why he's trying to court him, even with money, for as much as 1.4 billion or for I don't know how much billion. That is what is being rumored outside there. That if Natembeya will go for the money, then Natembeya will give the Ruto the support that he needs. But let us look for it. Is it of political good for Natembeya? I think this will be a wrong move if Natembeya accepts this kind of offer. because he will have finished his political career before even it starts. Because Mulembe Nation is very delicate. This is a region that is so much divided that for you to bring it together, then they need a leader who is very, very strong, a leader who has very strong principles, and a leader who stands on very strong grounds. So if he can be able to be influenced by small money and he joins the government, then it will be doomed for him. And that is the price. That is what some of these former leaders have been doing. People like Kalonzo, Wetangula and Mudavadi, they have always sold the nation to the highest bidder, and this is what has cost them even the influence that they have, because right now they have like totally no influence at all. And that's why you see the president is not even interested in them. The president is going for Natembeya. So for me, I'll say that is a wrong card, because Natembeya is still very young in politics. He doesn't need to start taking such kind of offers. He doesn't need to go for such kind of offers. They will finish him politically. And William Ruto has a way of finishing people politically. So this is also a move of controlling Natembeya. This is also a move of controlling Natembeya's growing influence, because he knows that if such rumors starts going out, then people will start seeing Natembeya differently. And maybe that is what he intends to achieve. Maybe he doesn't even plan to make him the deputy president or his running mate in 2027. He just wants the rumors to go out so that people can start seeing him different, and he reduces that influence that Natembeya seems to be enjoying. Now, let us come to Kalonzo. Is Kalonzo Musyoka a best? Is he really can he really work with William Ruto? As for Kalonzo, we all know that Kalonzo is someone who is very shaky. He can work with anyone, and it's very easy to convince. Convincing Kalonzo to support you is very, very easy. So that is a no-brainer, that if you put pressure on Kalonzo, definitely he will end up supporting the president or working with the president come 2027. So anyone who is planning his political ambitions with Kalonzo in mind, always toa hiyo kitu kabisa. Wanasemanga tema hiyo jaba, because Kalonzo is someone who can work with anybody as long as there's a way control, as long as kuna chums or something. It's so easy to convince. So that will not come as a shocker for me if I see Kalonzo working with the president. Though, what will it have? Will it have any impact on his political future? Yes, it will, because for the longest time people have always said that Kalonzo is very, very undecided in most things, that he ends up making very silly mistakes that will later usually cost him. So this one will be one of the mistakes, that if he ends up accepting and work with the president in whatever term, he will have just played to what we always say, that Kalonzo Musyoka is just a watermelon and is someone who doesn't stand on any principle. As long as you are able to convince him, as long as you are able to pull him on board, then he will end up working with you. That's why Kalonzo, how many times you can all remember, even in the previous time, when he said that he will never support Raila, he will never be second to Raila in any shape or form. But he was convinced. He was even taken through a panel, even through an interview, to be Raila's running mate, which later he ended up supporting Raila, not even being a running mate. Martha Karua was picked in the same as a running mate, and he was not picked, even after saying all manner of things that he will never play second to Raila Odinga and everything. So this cannot come as a surprise for people who know Kalonzo Musyoka, for people who understand him. He will end up making such mistakes, and it is not a surprise. So don't be shocked when you hear that Kalonzo has gone to work with William Ruto. You get? That is like, if something like that happens, don't even be surprised, don't even be shocked. It is something that is so much expected. So the political future of this country, for me now, the next question, maybe what we need to ask ourselves is, where does it leave the future of the opposition? Because now, if these two people are going, or maybe they decide to go, the opposition will have been weakened, and that is the plan of William Ruto. William Ruto is planning so much that this cousin narrative that Gachagua is trying to push, so it can fail, so that the Kambas don't stick with the Kikuyus, and the Luyas don't stick with the Kikuyus. That is what Ruto is really planning to break this unity. He doesn't want this unity to go for long, because he knows if he allows this thing to go until 2027, it will have gained momentum that it will be so hard to control. So the best time to control is to start controlling now. And how do you control? You start creating narratives by attempting to buy or attempting to work. Now once you create such a narrative, the narrative goes there and the narrative becomes more strong, and people believe, and people start saying, no, is this opposition really strong? Why is the president? And you see right now, this move are being made when Gachagua is out of the country. Gachagua is out of the country. This is the time that William Ruto is planning and is making this move. I told you well that William Ruto is a person who understands politics, and he understands the principle of divide and rule, because he knows that if people are united, then it is very hard to fight them. But if people are disjointed, they are not united, then it's very easy for you to conquer them. So that is what he's doing. Now that Gachagua is away, he's planning all manner of things to penetrate and to infiltrate opposition, so that he can split them, he can discredit them in the eyes of the public. And then those people will say that, after all, even if this opposition is not, I don't see it taking us anywhere, let us just go with the president, the person that is there. So that is a narrative that is being created, and that is politics. So let us wait and see. Anyway guys, you can share your views in the comment section. What do you think about all these things? Do you think that Natembeya will join the president? Do you think that Gachagua will work with Kalonzo will work with the president? Share it in the comment section, but above it all, remain respectful all the time. Do not insult anyone. We encourage clean politics on this platform. So thank you. Until next time, bye.